Can you make it nice and loud because I'm struggling to hear with the background noise? Yeah. Okay, so for a parent with Prader-Willi, the first thing I'd say is think about the future more hopefully than probably doctors are telling you. I speak from personal experience. I do not have a child with Prader-Willi, but I had a child who I was told, would not walk and would not talk, and he does all of those things now. For somebody with Prader-Willi, it's important that you get them involved in lots of physical exercise. It's important that you help them make friends. And these days, it's much easier than it used to be because there's things like growth hormone therapy that will help the child become stronger and taller and look more normal. And the other thing I would say is get the person as early as possible to get used to doing work and not being taken care of. Most of my experience with people with disabilities in general, but especially with Prader-Willi, is they get looked after too much. Everybody's too kind to them. They never get jobs given to them like the other children. They never get told, go and make me a cup of tea, or it's your turn to do the dishes, or whatever. So get people used to doing ordinary tasks because that's how they'll learn how to have ordinary skills to live their life once they start to leave home. About the working part of it? Okay. This workshop here is a lovely warm environment, and I think I have never seen such good volunteer support of any enterprise in my 30 years as here. So that's a great credit to everybody involved in the association. I think my challenge though is to think about the future for every individual here, and is their future in the centre, or is their future going to be working in the community, living in the community, taking control of their life to the greatest extent possible? I think one of the things we do with people with Prader-Willi is we focus a lot of effort around control, because the control around food is so important that we end up controlling their entire life, not just their food. It makes it easier for us as family, it makes it easier for us as social workers to do that. But for the individual with Prader-Willi, their life is paler, it's not as exciting, it's not meeting what drives them forward. So we should find their interest and find what they're excited about as much as anybody else, because although people have Prader-Willi, mostly they're the same as everybody else. The difference is they can't control themselves around food, but they still want to love people, they still want to have jobs, they still want to do every other thing that's important in their culture and in their religion and in their family. Oh, yeah.
But in your point of view, so what you would you give? What kind of suggestions you would give to
Sure.
how
Okay.
to deal with their emotion? Because
Yes, indeed. One of the most difficult things when you're working with somebody is not to take things very personally. When we teach staff, we spend a lot of time assisting them to depersonalise interactions that are difficult like that. And there's a number of things that need to happen. First of all, they need to know that the behaviour is not about them. Secondly, they need a lot of counselling and coaching after they've been involved to get rid of those emotions so they don't carry them forward. And third, they need to do some video work like these people did to learn how they can react differently. Because you're right, we're all people, and when somebody, for example, I've worked with lots of challenging people. When somebody hits me, it's hard for me not to think about it personally. But I have to think that's not about me, that's about the situation. And when somebody swears at me, it's hard for me to think it's not about me, but that's what we have to do, and it takes some training and some counselling afterwards to get rid of those emotions so you can get back and do it again. Because if we don't do that, what you find is people react to the personal threat and they do all the wrong things because they feel personally involved. They've got to depersonalise it, yeah. Does that help?
他刚刚有说创造一个环境跟培养小胖的工作能力，就是可以让他们自己工作嘛。可是我觉得这个社会意识有一些低落，比如说他说有同事可不可以训练有一个同事是专门帮他，但是万一我们找不到人，就是没有这样的一个人出现，他会不会觉得说，我们的社会意识就是对这个关怀弱势的一些人，就是他的意识是有一些文化。
The fourth one is the working condition. You are mentioned that you encourage that private village people go to work.
Yep.
But what about our society? Don't know anything of PWS. You cannot find the supporting staff for problems.
When I started working 30 years ago, that was the same in New Zealand. No disabled people of any sort were employed. And we changed that, one employer at a time. And what we would do is we'd go out and talk to an employer about the importance of giving somebody a chance to learn and to work, and we'd provide a lot of support while it was required until the employer could do that support. And over time we got more employers involved, and they found the benefits of employing people like with Prader-Willi is that they're keen to come to work, they're very good at hand skills, they're reliable, and if you manage the food, they won't do the wrong thing. Once that's happening successfully, then you get employers to talk to other employers and say, I've done this thing, it's worked really well for me, how about you have a go? And in the end, employers talking to employers is more powerful than me talking to employers. So it's one person at a time, and I'd be very surprised if there wasn't at least one person here who we could find a job for if we tried hard enough. Even for just 2 hours a day or 1 hour a day, it makes a start. Yeah. Are we done? Yeah, thank you.